Welcome, Modern Tactical Shooting. Now, I'm sure you've seen the videos going around or read the articles about Russian troops in Ukraine being issued substandard or fake body armor. Now, of course, there is real Russian body armor out there, and thanks to a buddy of mine who has contacts in Ukraine, I was able to get a set of the 6B45 Granit plates that come with the Ratnik program. That's the latest Russian army issue. And of course, a lot of that was used up in the first few months in Ukraine. But in this video, we're going to learn or find out if real Russian body armor really lives up to the standard of being able to stop rifle rounds. So if you want to see if there's holes on the other side of this plate, you got to stay tuned, and let's get into it right now. Now, before I get into what rounds I actually fired at this plate and the results, did it actually penetrate the plate, let me talk about this 6B45 Granit plate as it's referred to. Now, I'm not a Russian body armor expert by no means, but based off of loose translations and information off the internet, this is a Class 6 plate, meaning it's supposed to be sort of equivalent to US Level 4 body armor. Now, Level 4 body armor, US standard, is supposed to be able to stop one round from a 30-06 armor-piercing bullet, the old M2 bullet, basically the round fired out of a BAR, that's World War II standards, and it's supposed to be able to stop multi-hit rifle rounds, so your standard rounds that you would expect, like your 5.56, 7.62 by 39, and things like that. Now, this plate was manufactured, and I can't pronounce the name, so I'll post it right here, by this company. And it came in pretty damn good condition. Now, this has ceramic tiles in it, and if you can see from this photo right here, you can see the little ceramic squares. It's made up of individual ceramic tiles, and again, it's supposed to be the equivalent of a U.S. Army Level 4 plate. But let's get into exactly what I shot at this and the results. So first up is going to be a single round of 7.62 by 39 from this Arsenal 107R. Specifically Red Army standard non-magnetic. I have a ton of this ammo just because it shoots really tight. So non-magnetic ammo, and it created this hole right here. And let's cut to the range footage. All right, let's go check it out. No penetration, but we got an impact, a little bit of spalding. Impact, we got major, no, not even major deformation. Not too bad. But that's 7.62 by 39. All right, real quick, I want to give a shout out to one of my sponsors, and that is AT Armor. They offer various types of ballistic plates and body armor. In fact, they provided me with a set of their M210 special threat plates. These are a multi-curved plate that will stop all your various 5.56 rounds and 7.62 by 39 up to 7.62 by 39 armor piercing. And these size medium plates weigh about 5 pounds a piece, which is 2 pounds lighter than my old Army issue Sappy plates. So I'll put a link down to them in the description, and that is AT Armor. All right, next up, we're gonna fire some 5.45 by 39, and not just any old 5.45 ammunition, the old 7.6 round, which is a Soviet 5.45 round with a steel penetrator inside. So it's got some extra penetration to it, not necessarily I would say an armor piercing round, but really equivalent to our M855 with a penetrator on the inside. Now, we actually fire 2 rounds at it because a buddy of mine's shooting, and the first round that he shoots actually hits the upper lip of the plate, as you will see in the video. So we reshoot it again, and it makes its impact just below the first one. Does it penetrate? Let's find out. It actually cracked the plate, but it stopped it. Impact. But that is some significant deformation. Let's see the back. All right, last up is going to be a single M855A1 round fired out of a clone of my work gun from 2015. So this is a real Colt SOCOM heavy barrel, 14.5 inch. So we're getting the true velocity out of a duty gun with that M855A1 round. Now, M855A1 is not an armor-piercing round, is designated as a barrier penetration round, but it made this hole right here, and let's cut to the range and see if it actually burns through this Soviet plate. Clean hit right in the center. Let's go check it out. Oh, look at nothing. A1, very little deformation. But actually, yeah, so much for M855A1. So it stopped all 3 rounds. The shoot-through part, it actually hit the plate and went up at an angle. It didn't actually penetrate the plate. So as you can see from the range footage, it stopped all the rounds. It stopped the 7.62 by 39. Now the first round of the 7N6 hit high on the lip, and as we talked about in the range footage, it actually ricochets off. It doesn't actually penetrate the plate, and I'm going to do some close-ups of the plate here in a minute and talk about all the different impacts. It stopped the second 7N6 round, which really impacted about an inch away, and it fully stopped that M855A1. And I'll do a close-up on the plate here in a second, but what about, say, if we fired the M955 old black tip? Well, I've shot the old Army 5.56 black tip, and it's an older round, and really it doesn't do any more damage than the modern M855A1. Here's a picture from Afghanistan, 2012. We were shooting it against AR 500 steel, and really you can't tell the impacts apart. So I don't think our old school black tip would have any chance against this. Now, we did not shoot 7.62 by 51, a 308 round against it. I'm going to talk about the damage done to this plate, but I think we'll probably go back to the range sometime and talk about or shoot 7.62 by 51 at this, and I think it might do a lot of damage. But let's talk about the rounds that actually went into this plate. I'm going to change up the camera angle right now. All right, close-up of the plate. Again, 7.62 by 39. 2 rounds of that 7N6. Again, one hit the lip right here, and it ricocheted off. As you can see, it didn't penetrate. It just tore up the edge. You have your impacts here of the 7N6 round, and probably the deepest bulge or the biggest bulge was from that M855A1. But honestly, if you're wearing soft armor backwards, you're probably not going to get nothing more than a bruise. I wouldn't say these bulges in the plate are anything catastrophic. Definitely survivable, and you could probably keep fighting. Now, turning the plate over, let me peel this open. You can see the ceramic tiles right here. It's not just one large ceramic plate, it's ceramic tiles. In terms of damage to these ceramics, actually, the 7.62 by 39, let me see if I can get it in the camera. The 7.62 by 39 actually displaced more of the ceramic tiling than any of the other rounds. Even though it's a slower round, but it is a heavier bullet, and it displaced and cracked a lot of the ceramic. I just can't get a good angle on the camera here. So I think if we were to shoot this with 308, 7.62 by 51, even ball, I think it would be stopped, but I think it would start shattering enough of the ceramic that it would eventually get through, probably a lot faster than M855A1. And that's just looking again at the amount of damage done to the ceramics by that 7.62 by 39. Here's a good shot. You can see how it's just totally cracked up the ceramic, where the other bullets kind of just punched a hole. So going against Russians with current ammo right now, since the 6.8 really isn't being issued yet, I think maybe 7.62 by 51 might give you the best chance of defeating this plate. Maybe I'll go back to the range. Again, this plate's borrowed. Maybe I'll go back to the range and shoot it with enough .308 to see how many rounds it actually takes to defeat this plate. So there it is. Authentic Russian modern body armor does indeed do what it's supposed to do, and that's stop multiple rifle rounds. Now, of course, the Russian army, it seems they're out of all fresh gear. If you're a Russian conscript, there's a good chance you're getting nothing or imitation body armor. But of course, soldiers can do personal purchases. I'm sure there's a lot of this floating around in the black market. This plate was in excellent condition. And again, it was sent from a Ukrainian soldier to a buddy of mine. They got it the real way, which is from a Russian, supposedly. So there is, of course, real Russian body armor being used by Russian soldiers. They're not all out of it. They're not all running around with nothing. Now, the big question is, and if anybody from SIG is watching this, I'd love to see what the new 6.8 Army round does, that .277 Fury. Now, I know there are two different bullets that are going to be issued to the Army. One is a training round, and then the other is the armor-piercing round. And I'd love to get a hold of just one armor-piercing bullet of the new 6.8 to see if it defeats this Russian plate. Because if it doesn't, then the M7 is a huge waste of money, because one of the major reasons why the Army is going to 6.8 is to be able to defeat near-peer threats body armor. And this 6B45 plate is it. It's really the best Russia has to offer right now. Now, the big question is, if I were going into Ukraine and I could not get my hands on American body armor, would I roll with a set of 6B45 plates? Well, authentic ones, sure. This has lived up to its standards. It's stopped multiple hits, and it can probably take a few more rounds. So this is truly a multi-hit rifle plate. So yeah, the 6B45 plate, the authentic ones are legit. So there it is, my results of shooting this 6B45 plate. This one, an authentic one anyways, can truly stop multiple rifle rounds. Now, I always have more content on the way. I've got more videos in the works. But as always, hopefully you found this video informative and entertaining. I'm Jeff Gerwich. Thanks for watching.